Yay! This is our first video in the free course that is designed to help you answer the question, should you become an academic life coach? And I thought a great place to begin is just to tell you my story about how I created this business for myself. I get emails all the time from some of you asking what my journey was so that they can better imagine what theirs might be. So I just took a moment and I created a bunch of cards here that chronicled the different steps in my journey, and I just want to walk you through them. So the first one right here is that I quit my teaching job, although actually I promised that I would be telling the uncensored version here, and so I didn't actually quit. I was let go from my teaching job. At the time, I had been teaching for 3 years. I was a very new teacher, having just graduated with my master's in education, and I was one of these, this might not surprise you to hear, like super creative, very talented teacher, but I was a little too like all over the place. And the head of school, this was a small independent school, wanted a more traditional teacher who was going to perhaps be less creative and more kind of consistent with the curriculum. And so I actually wanted to quit, but I was too scared to quit because I was worried about money. And so he made the decision for me. So that was annoying, but ultimately I'm so grateful. So that was step number 1. Step number 2 is that summer I got hired by an academic coaching company. And I'd never heard of this thing called academic coaching before. Of course, I knew of tutoring, and I had applied for a bunch of tutoring jobs on Craigslist. And there was this one that called itself academic coaching, and I applied for it and got it. It was with a wonderful local organization in Walnut Creek, California, called Student Organizational Services with the fabulous Beth Samuelson. Shout out to Beth. She's my first mentor in this field, and I am just so forever grateful for her ushering me in. She actually hired me to start a coaching program at a small independent school. And so I went from 0 clients to, almost 20 clients that first year. And I also managed a number of other coaches who were also coaching at that school. So it was trial by fire. I learned so much that first year at SOS for students. So that was step number 2 in the process. Then the more I coached, I stayed at SOS for several years, and I was an independent contractor through them. So I was technically self-employed, although Beth was finding all of my clients for me. But then I slowly started getting referrals from other places. And to be able to see those clients, I didn't have an office. At SOS, I was seeing them in the SOS offices, so I needed to start traveling to families' homes. So you can imagine that how time-consuming that is to have to spend 15 to 20 minutes driving in between client sessions. So I really could only see a maximum of 3 clients in any given day, and often just 2. And I was juggling the SOS clients and my private clients at the same time. So that was that phase. And slowly, after maybe another year of that, or possibly 1.5 years, I was getting too many referrals. Yay, I was doing a great job, and more people wanted to work with me. But it was just not tenable anymore to travel to people's homes. So I had to just commit to working in one place, and that was this spot you kind of see right here, my home office. I'm sitting on the couch right now where I see clients, and it's also the couch in my apartment. So the other point I want to make about this transition, I don't remember that point in this moment, so I'm going to move on and come back to it if I remember. But so here we were in my home office. I continued seeing some clients through SOS, but I was also seeing more clients here. Oh, I do remember. I also at this phase wanted to start doing more online coaching because I was getting exhausted Monday through Thursday, working from about 4 p.m. after school until about 8 or 8:30 p.m. And it's kind of hard to have a life. And so I knew that if I could get more people on the East Coast and see them via Skype, I would be able to work earlier in the day. So I started trying to orient my mind to thinking, how might I get more clients who are out of town and not local? So the next phase here is that can you see that? There you go. I quit my evening coaching job. So I quit SOS because it just was more lucrative for me to get my own clients during that time than it was to continue seeing clients through that Beth was finding me. So that was a sad transition, but it was a necessary one. And then I ended up getting a part-time morning job so that I could make money in the morning and then see clients in the evening. And that went on for about a year. And after that, I found myself being exhausted, too busy, and my business stopped growing. I found that I capped out at a certain number of clients because I didn't have time to go out and actively market. So I was taking in only the clients that were coming in by word of mouth. But I was just too busy to market because I had a part-time job in the morning. So I bit the bullet. Oh my goodness, this was really hard. I quit that part-time job and I invested in a marketing training program. And those of you who've read my story online will see that it was $10,000 that first year. And oh my God, was that scary to put that on the credit card and to know that I was committing to going full time. I trusted myself to be able to make good on this investment. And I was just going to do this academic life coaching thing for good. And that was about 5 years ago. So I realized the timeline that I've just shared, I should write it out because I think I'm a little wrong about how long I spent in some of those early phases. But anyway, I've been in this totally full-time phase for about 5 years now, even though I've been an academic life coach for about 10 years. And I went all in. And I couldn't have gone all in unless I quit that part-time job. So I created a what's the word for it? I created a need. Like I had to get bigger because I had to pay my rent. And then I also created the pressure of having the debt that I needed to pay off on that 0% credit card. But I also surrounded myself with a loving, caring community and a lot of knowledge that I didn't have before. You know, those of us who are passionate about what we do don't have MBAs. And so I kept on telling myself, this is my equivalent of the MBA. And even though $10,000 is expensive, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than grad school. And that's how I made it work. And pretty quickly after that first year, I got up to the base level of $60,000, and I've been growing past that ever since. But it really took that commitment to getting training and commitment to putting away all of those part-time jobs and really focusing on the business to get myself there. However, I think I did need those part-time jobs at the very beginning while I was just learning how all of this works. So I hope that is helpful to you to hear what that journey was like. And in the rest of this free course, we're going to look more specifically at what did my schedules look like in each of those phases, so you can imagine what your schedules might look like. We're going to look at what exactly an academic life coach is and some of the different approaches to academic life coaching, how mine is different from some other trainers who are out there. So you can make sure that you're choosing the right brand of coaching that you want to do, and all kinds of other things. So I will see you in the next video, and I'm so thrilled you're here. Take care.